Welcome to the Sci-Fi Guys. I am Dave, and with me, as always, is John and Chad. Today, we are talking about Mars Attacks. What a goofy movie! I'll just say it right now. It was extremely goofy, but it's typical Tim Burton and some of the stuff that he likes to do. And uh, I was watching some stuff about it, and it came out right after Independence Day, like
hmm
like within 5 months of each other. And so some people were saying, "Oh, it's just a ripoff of that movie," and it's like they were doing post production when you know Independence Day was coming out, so it's not a ripoff of that.
No,
No. So, how are you guys doing this week? Has it been a decent week for y'all?
busy.
Busy.
I mean,
John,
that's just the life
is this
there.
is this the last week
Yeah,
of
I'm on the
school for you
downhill
guys?
slope. Last full week
Is
this
it
week, 2.5 days next week. I'm happy. I'm good.
woohoo? All right, good for you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go with our beginning part of. Okay, Chad. Chad has the questions this week.
So I said, beginning of the opening scene, you see a farmhouse, farm style, ranch style house that you own a farm. You had your somebody comes up to the guy on the tractor and say, "Hey man, what you cooking?" Like it was just something. The smell was in there. I'm assuming because it was smelling almost like barbecue. And in that scene, we all see. So before you see the cows, what do you think that he was actually trying to say? Are you like ins- ins- incinerating?
Oh man, well, I've lived overseas, and sometimes you don't want to ask what the meat is. So, without offending anyone or saying anything derogatory, I'm just going to say that you don't want to know what the meat is sometimes. Could be cat, could be dog, could be horse, could be camel, could be, you know, whatever. And it's not always a cow. And John, you got anything else different?
I was gonna say the only thing I can add to that is it's the beginning of the movie and opening credits Prince Fried. I'm not usually actually watch because I know that's technically before the actual opening credits. But at that point, I wasn't paying attention that much. So.
Well, honestly, I actually did when I was doing a lot of research for and I'm just going to go and throw this out here. We are not going to do plot holes in this thing because this movie is just
Filled with them.
it's out there, all right. And so I
It
was
is the plot hole.
the whole movie was a plot hole, so exactly. So we're not going to do that segment today. But when I was doing research and trying to figure out stuff, I'm like, okay, well, what is it? I didn't. I mean, the whole thing was just goofy, and I'm like, did I miss something? What? And I actually found out that this story, Mars Attacks, actually was a Tops. They were Tops trading cards back in the like 1950s,
hmm
and that opening scene of the all those the horses or cattle or whatever running through and burning, that actually was one of the cards that I actually saw when I was watching the YouTube video on it. And that was their primary weapon, is they would catch humans and animals on fire. That was the whole premise of the cards. And they were pretty freaky. I mean, and the Martians that they did in the movie looked just like the cards. It was pretty wild. All right, Chad, go ahead and go with your next one.
So when you like I said, so when you first come into the cabinet scene where you see Jack Nicholson as the president, and you see Martin Short as the as the secretary, or the secretary of the press, right? Press
Press
secretary.
secretary, yeah.
And with a couple of generals and Pierce Brosnan, the scientists, and so, oh here's the latest news. You got in alien ships surrounding the Earth. What shall we do? And so what they did. Oh, let's go try to see what they want. We went with the other generals. Like, let's see what they want and go and just be timid and try to wait. We'll see what they was doing. what would y'all do different? Would you go with the timid way? Would you go with the hey, let's go and attack?
John, why don't you start? Because I've got some doozies.
Well, ultimately, I think the first go around, I would agree with the approach, but with caution strategy that they did go with, albeit they went with it horribly and not in a realistic way. However, I understand trying to make contact and doing so at first, but long run, I'm full nuke 'em, get it over with. I understand we saw the one nuke was stopped, but listen, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah, nah. Second go around, you're getting nuked. We're just game over at that point. If we're non-peaceable, I'm calling it a day. Everything past that first encounter was a joke, an absolute joke.
Well, being as I was in the military for a long time, uh, it didn't seem to me like they were ready. You know what I'm saying? They would have had aircraft in the air. They would have had, you know, the ICBM codes. I mean, everything would have been, ready to go at a moment's notice. And yeah, I would be like John. I would be optimistically, let's try to contact with them because it looks like their technology is better. Because hey, we can't fly into space like they can fly, you know. And we haven't. And at that point, they hadn't seen any lasers or anything else. So they were like, well, let's just see, But it should have been more than just a couple of tanks aiming at them. There should have been planes flying around, and have them locked up, ready to go with AMRAAM sidewinders, whatever, Mavericks, the works.
Yeah.
Air Force One should have been up and lifted. President should
Exactly.
not have just been out and visible as much. Yeah, not great recon there.
Should be in the bunker. Hide in the bunker always. But yeah, I did it. I'll do the timid way first, just see what they want. But after the attack that one time, that's it. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong here. So we all saw we saw Independence Day, Quiet Place, Day There. So there's a lot of movies where aliens attacks Earth. What similarities did you see in those movies and in this movie?
I would say one of the main similarities is just there was no communication. There was no way to talk between the aliens and us. Like Quiet Place, we got to the point where all they did was they just stayed quiet. That's all
Yeah.
they could do because they knew if you said a word, they were going to attack you and kill you. Independence Day was the same thing. They were like, okay, these guys, until they finally got that communication when when Will Smith shot the one down and drug it in, and they were able to talk to it, they actually found out what they were doing. Part of me wishes they would have had subtitles so we, audience, would know what the heck they really were saying. But I did read something that Tim Burton refused to have subtitles. He wanted everyone to not know what the heck they were talking about, so it would just add to the chaos that there
Yeah.
was. But yeah, no, I mean, I see a lot of similarities. What was the other one that we were talking? You said Independence Day. Oh, and the day the Earth stood still. You know, that. I mean, all of them want to wipe out humanity for some reason. I mean, that's the whole point. Is what are you going to do? You're going to die. That's all. That's the whole point. So
It's because we're the pest that keeps on living. We have the indomitable human spirit. No matter what, we survive.
kind of like roaches, right?
Yeah, just bigger and maybe less gross. Maybe not the aliens. Apparently, though, they probably would like the roaches. I mean, to me though, on the comparison side, I definitely see the quick comparisons stay there. It's just still an Independence Day in terms of approaching the government side, that sort of idea where we see kind of the behind the scenes there. In terms of A Quiet Place, that idea of it's a specific sound that can squash their brains. It's pretty spot on and similar. I mean, I understand the whole premise of the film of A Quiet Place leads up to that. Overall, yeah, I think they were all three. They drew a lot on that idea of alien encounter, even if they fleshed it out in a bunch of different ways and actually followed procedure in different ways.
Yeah.
How about you, Chad? What did you think? Did you think anything different than what we said, or?
No, you kind of spot on. Like with the Independence Day, it was like more, I'm going after the government, or because literally all you saw them going about the major cities, quiet place, little sound like the very end to figure out how to kill them. Hey, pull it out. And they were playing that one song. It was killing them, but it was just that pitch. So yeah, I kind of agree with all that. I mean, that's other than these little nuances you see, like he's going by to see Godzilla.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was my favorite part of the whole movie, seeing Godzilla and the actors. I
Yeah,
mean, honestly, there was so many good actors, and watching them all demise was so funny. Most of them were just like, oh really? Okay, all right.
yeah. I could never see Jack Nicholson as a president or something in that.
Oh no, I thought his role was perfect
Yeah, it was perfect, but I mean,
for this type of movie, for being a comedy science fiction. To me, it was and I told this to John right before we started, right before you got on. I said he was doing his A Few Good Men mixed in with when
Joker.
he played the Joker, kind of as the president. I mean, just his mannerisms, the way he talked. I mean, if you wouldn't have had Jack Nicholson in that movie, it would have totally bombed. I honestly think so, because he really made the movie.
Yeah,
Because there were so many big name actors, but you saw them for maybe
split second.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, of
you
screen
saw
time, and then they were
Busey.
killed. You know,
Busey.
yeah, Jack Black. That was one of my favorite parts, when Jack Black, and he was just like, oh, and he was so good at, he could tear down the gun and all that, and then when he gets up there to shoot him, he does the release and drops the
Drops
cartridge
back.
out. It's like, you at least have one. You've already put one in the chamber, didn't you? All right, at least pull the trigger. Yeah. And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna stab him with a flag? I mean, yeah. So many things.
Like we said, this is a Tim Burton film.
Mm-hmm.
Say like Tim Burton didn't do this film. Like I say, hey, I don't want to do Mars Attack. What other director would it be great to have to do this film? Like it was still gonna go. We're still doing. We're still in the books. We just got they finally replace the director.
Okay, is it going to be a comedy, or is it going to be a serious movie?
Either way, I mean, that's the thing. You can go either way.
I think
it changes things.
yeah, it really does. I mean, if let's just say we stick with the premise of comedy. I don't know. There was, again, we said I'm not going to do plot holes, just because there was so many things that were just goofy on it. Like Sarah Jessica Parker and Michael J. Fox. I'm assuming they were living together or they were married, and then all of a sudden she has the hots for Pierce Bronson just out of the blue. I'm like, that whole line could have been taken out. I mean, I know we're kind of getting into what we would do to fix this thing, but I don't know. Have the subtitles so we kind of know what they're talking about, maybe, or have them speak English or something. And make it feel a little bit more. It felt campy. Make it feel a little bit more dangerous, or something like that. That there's peril here. It just seemed like, oh, we're gonna have these aliens talk to us again. There was a big misunderstanding.
All right, with that thought line, though, I think someone that could have done the still comedic but with serious undertones very well would have been Quentin Tarantino. I think he could have handled that idea very eloquently, just from what I've seen in Pulp Fiction. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think, was him. I think he could handle that, oh my gosh, aliens are attacking, but still throwing comedy in a way that it's more meaningful and story driven, as opposed to just kind of in your face and there. I think he could have handled that quite eloquently. Now, if we were going more serious, I honestly might almost take John Krasinski and just rewind him back in time and have him do a serious take on this. But
See,
also,
I was
any of
thinking
your,
Roland Emmerich. So,
Hmm.
or what
let's
was
say,
it?
or any of your Avengers directors.
Yeah, well, who was the one guy? Nolan, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something like that. If you're gonna if I'm gonna go rewind a little bit for what I said earlier, also is if we're gonna keep it comedic, then I think it really needed to go the Mel Brooks route.
That's what I was about to go say.
If we went the Mel Brooks route, I mean, one, it would be hilarious, especially if he could get all those big name actors. I mean, he when he did Spaceballs, John Candy was the most expensive actor that they had to pay for that, because he was the biggest star of all of them. I think Rick Moranis was like number 2 or something like that, besides Mel Brooks. Even the guy that was Lone Star, his name escapes me right now. He was in Independence Day also. He was the president. Yeah, I can't think of his name. Help me out.
Oh,
anyway,
Lord.
apparently he didn't even make as much, as those other guys. And of course, he was just starting out then too. So anyway, okay.
That's what I was thinking. With everybody, I was thinking, boy, man, this would have been a great Mel Brooks movie. Because the premise is just almost like you look at Spaceball, like making fun of something. This Mel Brooks.
Yeah. I think he really would have. Yeah, definitely would have. Just notched it up. Way. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go to well, since we said we're skipping plot holes because again, the whole movie was a big plot hole. All right. So we've done a lot of talking. So Chad, what would you do to fix this movie or improve it?
Add subtitles to the stinking aliens. Or figure out a way, like, add subtitles at the beginning, and then once you figure out how to translate it, have it in English. And then that's about, like, thing is, like, that, and then take it more seriously. Like, like the beginning.
So you're saying change it to a serious movie instead of a comedy?
Like, keep it comedy, but kind of make it more like, hey, I'm gonna be serious, but I'm gonna make some comedy undertone, like just to, because the thing is, why would you go to meet the aliens with 2 tanks, one that looks like one. I'm not in the military, but just a branch of, or the division of people out there waiting to protection. But here's all you got civilians, you got reporters out there. I would have just have some kind of setup where, hey, look, that's right here, this is it. And then granted, when they did it again, they kept the branches, they kept the president in the White House. So now you got the Congress all gone. I change a little thing, make it a little bit more serious, but keep it comedic. I mean, it can be done.
Well, Independence Day did that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much comedy in Independence Day. That was mostly from, Will Smith and
Jeff Goldblum.
Thank you. Golly, I cannot think of people's names today. Yeah, I mean, just their lines that they did were adding just they were breaking up the tension in the movie. Let's put it that way. And so John, what did you think?
I mean, overall, I think I would just add a real story, even if comedic. It's just so we got no why really as to why they were attacking. We just got they're here, and then they were attacking, and then the whole movie was how world leaders kept like, oh yeah, they want peace. Nope, they're attacking. And after about the second time of that, I was kind of like, okay, why are we still trusting them? First of all. Second of all, why are they doing this to begin with? And third of all, what is actually going on in this entire film? Like, they show up, they shoot, they leave. Like, and for some reason that pattern kept going with no real explanation to me. I would add more of a story that could be followed a little better, at least.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you completely. I'd like to see a story. There was no story. It was just, oh, hey, the aliens are just want to kill people. We don't know why. Um,
I think they
have you?
did say. I think they did say they sent a probe out to Mars. Why did the probe pick it up?
Yeah, again, there was so many things that just didn't make sense in this movie, and I get it. It's not the way that he had that Tim Burton wanted to do this movie. He wanted it to be kind of goofy, but I think if you were to take the stars out of this movie, it would completely fall flat on its face because there was no story. Um, Honestly, you guys have probably never seen V, have you? It was a TV series. It was actually a mini series originally back like 1984, originally when it started. I think it was the year. I think I would kind of make a movie similar to that, where okay, the Martians come to Earth, and then there's a dialogue there. We end up okay. Then they get to know us, but there's really they're there for nefarious reasons. They want to basically they want to use the human beings as food,
Mm-mm.
and so and they also need water. They want to use the human beings as food, and they desperately need water. So have a story like that where okay, the Martians are coming here because and you give us a reason why they're here, but then have the military ready and have it be a big fight. Have it be okay, if you want to keep the music as what kills them, okay, that's fine. However, after those kids were in the White House blasting the glass, and it's like I think back to Die Hard. What was the one thing and then you have Hans Gruber telling the other guy, in whatever language he was, and he was like, oh, and then you're like, what is he saying? And he's like, shoot the glass, you know, shoot their helmets. And then once you shot the helmets, they died. You didn't have to kill them, Like, and the biggest, and I guess I'm gonna throw this in here now. I'm going to throw this in here now. Okay. If you're gonna make a radio station broadcast Slim Whitman that's going to be able to hurt these people, you're not going to go to an AM station that is only line of sight. So again, how are all these aliens that are all over the world? How'd they get word that hey, if you go ahead and play this particular music, it kills them? Again, I mean, if they were going to do it like on a mass scale, then okay, hey, we're going to put these on satellites. Okay, it's going to be broadcast all over the world. Every device that people walking around with their cell phones, and then that music is playing, or something along that line. Just to give it a little bit more, I don't know, realism to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, now we're going to give this thing. Okay, we are going to rate this on a scale of 0 to 5 lightsabers. Chad, since you picked this movie, you get to go first. Where do you rate it at? 0 to 5 lightsabers. On, hey, would you watch this again? Did you enjoy it? I mean, all that.
To be honest, this is not my
Give us a
first
reason
time.
why.
This is not my first time watching. I'll watch this again for comedic purpose, but in sci-fi. But I'm gonna rate it like a 3.5, just because just what it was. There's no story behind it. It was just it's really more for amusement when y'all watch it. It's not like I'm watching this because it's a very good storyline.
Okay, John, how about you?
I mean, I love you, Chad, but I think this is gonna be one of my first goose eggs. Only slightly above Asteroid City for me. Only very slightly above Asteroid City for me.
Ouch. Ouch.
That's just where I land on it. Oh, I don't know why it exists.
Well, I have seen it before, but I've only seen it one time before, and it was a slugfest to get through it again this time. I will give it one lightsaber just for the simple fact is I got to see Danny DeVito get shot and disappear right in front of me. That was great, But yeah, that is then that's it. Mars Attacks. All right, so if you guys will contact us. Okay, you guys can contact us on Twitter at TheseSciFiGuys. You can email us, TheseSciFiGuys@gmail.com. I think my voice kind of crackled there. Sound like a 10-year-old boy, going through puberty or something. TheseSciFiGuys@gmail.com. Also, if you guys could give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can leave some comments down below if there's a movie that you guys want to see in particular. Please let us know. Next time, we're going to do a classic. So we went from comedy to classic. Yeah, classic is before comedy. So, and we are going to be watching 2001, A Space Odyssey. So, I have not seen this movie probably since like the mid 70s, maybe late 70s. It's been a long, long time. I know John has never seen it. And Chad, have you seen this?
I haven't really seen it, but I know the music.
You know the music, yeah. Oh, it's got a great score. So, but anyway, yeah. So this may be a little bit of a short episode because it was really not a good movie. And you know what? Sometimes we get those. It happens because not every movie is The Empire Strikes Back. Not every movie is Terminator 2. Not every movie is. Well,
These.
You'd be surprised at how many Robot Jocks movies there are out there compared to, your big blockbuster awesome movies. So there's a lot more B movies out there than there are, mega killer blockbuster. What was it? We watched Demolition Man where she was like, that's mega killer rad or something, mega kill death or something like that. I forget what it was.
Murder, kill
death. Thank you. Yeah, where all these, it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna say peace out.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn. There you go.